The Pulse launched, and pulsex.com on that main net has launched as well. I hope you guys are all enjoying it. We waited a couple years for this, and it's finally here.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another day after a day off yesterday, but we're back in the mix talking about Pulsechain. Are you accumulating? Let us know in the chat there. I was going to do a poll, but I haven't set that up, so get in there and say if you're accumulating. Put in the word yes. How about that? That's nice and easy. You put the word yes in if you're accumulating on Pulsechain. Can be anything, so get in there, folks. Go for gold. We've got Check My Pulse in the house there. Good evening to you. Welcome. And yes, working, DCAing, accumulating, sticking to the plan. Now, Check My Pulse knows what's happening. That is very cool. Well done. Yeah, and a big shout out to the Hex Token family. We've got Lies Beneath the Truth in the house there. How are you today? Very good. Bit overcast today, but still a great day in good old New Zealand. We got Hex PLS, PLX Center for the 100%. That is the gold crypto strategy on this channel. And of course, we're backing that for the win, right? We're backing that for the win. So very excited about that. Let's see. A big welcome to Pulsechain, people on Pulsechain X. We're streaming to 3 different channels, over 10,500 subscribers. So a big shout out to everybody on Pulsechain X. Growing quite strongly on that channel. So welcome everybody there. Superman Crypto is growing there as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And of course, Hex Token channel, the one, probably the biggest one here at the moment. Definitely doing well with a lot of engagement, so big shout out. StakeX says today's been a solid X day. Hope we have a solid X weekend. I don't know what you're talking about there. Solid X. What is that? What is that? Simple Believer says I've been accumulating meme coins. Got to have more exposure just in case. Yeah, well, I think everybody knows that meme coins one of the mega themes this bull market, along with probably AI and of course your blue chip utilities do pretty well. And of course, the Richard Hart tokens that's kind of we're backing. So definitely got to have some of those in your portfolio, right? Got to pick the winners though, don't you? With the old meme coins, you can't just pick any of them. Some of them pump and dumpers, and a few of them, very select few, will do some mega gains, right? So it's kind of the play. Day 3 of App Day from Sandy Beach, one of our awesome influencers, and of course a moderator here, Hex Token channel, and a big shout out to everybody. Nice one. I love the line. Rawr, the line, yeah. I like the line too. I thought, let's be aggressive today. Pulsechain, are you accumulating? Got to be aggressive in the market and pick up those good things. So, yeah. What else we got to go here? We got Harvey Diaz in the house, the Hex Token channel member. I haven't bought a coin after the sacrifice, says Harvey. Well, you've had plenty of opportunities, haven't you, with the dips? So definitely some good stuff to pick up there as well, particularly Pulsex, which is well below the sacrifice price. So good opportunities there. All right, let's get into it, folks. We're going to get into the stock market, then crypto market. We're going to be zooming in on Bitcoin today, and then, of course, zooming in on Pulsechain assets as well. So that's what we're covering today. So let's get into it without much further ado. Row, the lion roars. Let's bring in the stock market. So stock market had snapped some losing streak. You know, it was on a losing streak for a couple of days. And, of course, this is on the interest rate cut the hopes of that happening. So let's have a look at the numbers. Obviously, we had Easter, so we're coming off that too, right? So we got the Dow Jones down, was 0.11%, 43 points, 39,127. We got the S&P 500 down, up actually, the opposite is actually up 0.11%, 5.6 points to 5,211. And the NASDAQ really having the better day, up 0.23%, 37 points to 16,277. So NASDAQ there. All the tech companies in doing pretty well. Now, we did have a little bit of update around the chair of the Fed Reserve, saying that it looks like all the Fed participants are supporting lower interest rates at some point this year. So that theme is still playing out, but not until the central bank has greater confidence from the incoming data that inflation is on a sustainable move lower. Now, obviously, the chief chair, Powell, is seeing a soft landing because the economy is performing better than expected. And so that's kind of where we are at the moment. Also, we got some data around U.S. private sector jobs. We got 184,000 jobs above the 148,000 expected. So the U.S. economy is still pumping along there. So that means, interest rate pivot with a softer landing. That's kind of the best outcome at this stage. Although I think a lot of these things are going to be delayed and probably happen further down the track. So that's kind of where we are at the moment on the old interest rates and Fed Reserve. Let's jump over to Bitcoin and crypto. BTC at the moment, $66,292, up 9/10%. The Bitcoin dominance is 51.26% over the rest of the market. Ethereum there is $3,324, sort of just chilling at the moment, but that is almost up 0.9% as well. You can see there's a bit of a mixed bag across the board. Actually, a few of the leaders down at the moment slightly. Solana is up at 2.3%. You can see that. Arbitrum looks like that's up a little bit there, up 1.45%, $1.48. Tron is up at 0.42%, 11.7 cents. Good old Tron there. And Tron, it really never delivers too much, does it, really? But there is Tron. And yeah, that's a couple other green ones there. XMR standing out there at 5.85%, $1.20, $129.53. Those are some of the leaders. But let's zoom in a bit closer into Bitcoin. And we can see the Bitcoin chart here coming up to a massive event, right? A massive event. The Bitcoin halving is getting closer and closer and closer. And of course, here we are getting only 16 days away from the 20th of April there for the Bitcoin halving. So it's getting closer and closer. All I was going to say about that is that, 16 days? We're actually doing pretty well with this, with the price curve here. Normally, I'd say it's starting to roll over a little bit, but we're well above the 50-day moving average, this yellow line. And that shows us, what does it show us? It shows us at $62,928. So let's say 63,000, round up. The 200-day moving average, $47,656. And we're still well above that. The top of our range today, 66,944. The low, 64,500. So what's that, about a $2,500 range in today's Bitcoin there. So you do have to, yesterday was particularly wide. Top was yesterday was 69,711, low of 64,500. So that was even bigger. And what's that, about a $5,100 range or something yesterday. So pretty big ranges in some of these candles. And this is where we are at the moment, but getting closer to that Bitcoin halving. We will see what happens there. Now, we do have a bit of a video, so let's watch a video. This is of Larry Fink. You guys know BlackRock, and of course, we know that they're up to lots of no good stuff, but at the moment, they are facilitating a whole ton of money coming in along with other ETFs. Since the 10th of January, the Bitcoin ETF's been operating, and Larry Fink is super bullish. So let's have a check this out, little video today from him. What do we got, a different position? I think I might take that one there. Let's go.
I'm very bullish on the long-term viability of Bitcoin.
I was going to say, did that surprise you?
That surprised me how much that's
Really?
gone up. I mean, look at it. It is. We're creating now a market that has more liquidity, more transparency, and I'm pleasantly surprised, and I would never have predicted it before we filed it, that we were going to see this type of retail demand.
So you thought you'd do good, but not this good.
I thought. Yes.
Well, IBIT is your ETF over at iShares.
Yes.
It's about to overtake Grayscale, which was in the business certainly a lot longer. You look at the gains since January 11th when it first came about.
Yes.
Have you ever seen this much inflow this quickly into
IBIT is the fastest growing ETF in the history of ETFs.
There we are, super bullish there from Larry Fink, BlackRock, and of course the IBIT, iShares, Bitcoin Trust. They're dominating, doing pretty well, and of course the biggest ETF of all time. And of course, as you guys know, the markets have moved. A lot of money is moving from indexes into ETFs, and it's kind of been one of the mega themes over the last couple of decades. And of course, Bitcoin is leading the way there, so it's a big deal. From a financial history point of view. And of course, Larry Fink having a huge influence. Now, he honestly, I do feel all his interviews, I think he lies a bit. He's also comes across, I don't know, just for his position, he just comes across, I don't know, a little bit like, I don't want to be too nasty, but we'll leave it there. But on a positive note, billions of dollars are flowing into crypto. So we'll leave that one there. Well, let's jump over to the actual results at the moment that we're seeing. And so let's pull it in and check out some of the results. So these are the Bitcoin results coming through the ETFs at the moment. And of course, you can see Grayscale at the top there. Grayscale has had a $15 billion exit out of Grayscale, and obviously there's issues there. So, but that's probably close to being over in my view. So that's got a negative for the 2nd of April, down 81 million. You can see on this column here. But iShares, of course, is huge. So iShares coming in with 14 billion, $274 million has flowed in through iShares since the 10th of January there. And of course, that's BlackRock. So, Larry Fink there. So probably pretty bullish on that point of view. Now, the other thing that's taken the market a little bit, nervous was this ARC 21 shares. Actually had a negative day of 87 million outflows today. It may be some big account repositioning or something like that. Always that possibility. But hey, look, outflows are a natural part of ETFs. So, the fact that you're seeing a little bit there, here and there is not surprising, and just part of the maturing of the ETF ecosystem. So that's kind of the play there at the moment. Now, obviously, net for the 2nd of April was $39 million. So still very positive, excluding GBTC was $121 million. So still some good volume coming in. If we look at last week's volumes, we had 860 million net, even with the outflows of Grayscale at being 967 million, and of course excluding that 1.8 billion flowing in. So the Bitcoin ETFs are doing very well, pumping money into crypto. So I think that's pretty cool. You can see the total assets under management sitting at 55 billion, excluding GBTC 33.4 billion there at the moment. So things are looking pretty hot as well. All right, so looking pretty good on the numbers. Moving on from that, we ended up also having Pompiliano. You guys know he's kind of the front man that they're all going to now regarding Bitcoin, besides people like Larry Fink. So let's check out Pompiliano there, and I think he's doing a pretty good job as an ambassador for Bitcoin. Obviously, we have our very own ambassador, Richard Hart. It'd be great to see him getting back on some of these shows as well. Obviously, crushing it there with Alpha Knowledge. But here we are at the moment, Pompiliano sort of leading the way. So let's get into position and listen to this.
All right, that locomotive continues, folks. Bitcoin ETFs trading 111 billion last month, triple what they did in January and February. With us now, Pomp investment investor Anthony Pompiliano. Pomp, this is the kind of thing you talked about, right? I mean, the demand has been absolutely through the roof. And here's the interesting thing, though. Because it went, I guess, what was the high recently? 75, 72, something like
72,000.
that? 72,000. It's pulled back to 65,000. A narrative they're out there now saying, see, gold is up and Bitcoin is down. It's not a store of value. What do you say to folks who are saying maybe it's got some investment opportunities, trading opportunities, but it still hasn't proven itself as a store of value?
Well, when you want to store value, usually what you're talking about is not storing value from yesterday to today. What you're trying to store value is from today for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, right? And so when I think of Bitcoin, I think about, can I actually preserve my economic value for my kids or my grandchildren? And right now, Bitcoin, I think, is probably the best place that you're going to be able to do that. Now, if we go and we look at what people have been historically using as a store of value, there's gold and there's dollars. Gold is up. It's near an all-time high. But we're talking about now it hits an all-time high because it goes up $10, $20, $30, right? These moves aren't meaningful to people who buy gold right here and see a $30, $40, $50 increase in the price. Now, the dollar is down in purchasing power terms, right, 25% since 2020. So you've lost 25% of your purchasing power in 4 years. Bitcoin during that same time period is up 800%. And so what I think people are starting to realize is, wait a minute, if I store some or a large portion of my wealth in Bitcoin, everything around me gets cheaper over time rather than more expensive, and that's what you want out of a store of value.
Larry Fink on our network last week made a lot of news. I mean, are you surprised at how much someone like him, he has come around? I mean, a couple of years ago, he was definitely in a no Bitcoin camp.
Yeah. Well, I know that there was a lot of people who spent a lot of time with him, really educating him. And I think that both Larry Fink and the folks at BlackRock don't get enough credit for the work that they put into it. This is not a, hey, I woke up one day and all of a sudden I think Bitcoin's good now. Right? They went and they did the work. They did the research. They really spent a lot of time. There's a gentleman over there, Robbie Mitchnick, who leads digital assets. He spent a bunch of time talking internally with folks, really trying to make sure that everyone knew what is it that we're going to be buying and offering to clients. Now, Larry Fink is one of the kings of finance. If Larry Fink says, hey, I think this has got a shot, people are going to listen.
Sure.
And so what's interesting is the messenger really matters. There's things that Bitcoiners have been saying for 10, 15 years, but now all of a sudden when it comes from Larry Fink, it has a different weight to it.
Yeah.
And so I think that we should only continue to see the traditional finance folks kind of take those same talking points and repeat them in different mediums.
You know, it's like every parent knows that, right? You can tell your kid something over and over again, and Taylor Swift says it, then it's right. Okay. Let's put up this chart. This is a chart from our friend Urian Timmer, who is really just absolutely amazing. And it shows Bitcoin's risk-reward ratio, folks. This is going to blow your mind because you're going to see a lot of dots, a lot of bubbles up there, all confusing, except look at the top corner, right? Look at the top right corner up there all by itself. That's Bitcoin. The rest of those bubbles all jammed up. That's all the other assets, risk versus reward. So what does that tell you? Like, does it mean, to me, it means, okay, it still may be volatile, right? In the last 11 years, number one asset 8 times, the worst 3 times.
Yes.
So buckle up, boys and girls, but you want to be there?
So if you go back over 10 years now, Bitcoin's compound annual growth rate for a decade is 60% or higher. And so when you look at that, you say to yourself, okay, obviously it is going up in price. But the question is, if you're building a portfolio, the average investor is not going to go put 100% of their portfolio in one asset like Bitcoin.
Right.
Instead, what they want to do, as we've seen through various portfolio constructions, et cetera, is you want to take a couple non-correlated assets, put them together, and then have a portfolio that should do well over time. Bitcoin tends to be very low correlation or no correlation to traditional assets. It goes up a lot. It is volatile along the way. And so the key thing with Bitcoin is if you think that you're going to speculate or you're going to gamble or you're going to trade this thing, you probably aren't going to do so hot. But if you can simply learn to just buy an asset, hold it for the long term, Bitcoin's been very good to those investors, and I think that it'll continue to do that moving forward.
So 30 seconds, the halving thing we talked about before, could that be a sell on the news kind of event?
Again, Bitcoin goes up and down a lot day to day. And I think that if people are looking at that, anything could happen. Price could go up, it could go sideways, it could go down, right? But I do think that the halving is just classic economics 101. If you cut the incoming supply from 900 Bitcoin to 450 and demand just stays the same, we don't need more demand for the price to go up. We just need demand to stay the same, cut the supply in half, and then you should have price go up. Now, again, it's not going to happen overnight. It takes a few months in order for this to work into the market. And so I think that people should expect 6 to 12 months later to really see that material increase in price.
All right, great stuff.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You've been killing it, brother.
All right, so things looking pretty good there. Let's get into position here. Now, 450 Bitcoin, new Bitcoin. And of course, you saw with the ETF trusts, around about 900 million last week. So, demand's looking good. And getting, all those halving the miner rewards is going to be pretty neat moving forward. So in 16 days' time, it's going to start getting pretty bullish. I'm sure we'll have some volatility in the first month after the halving, and then maybe it's this game on after that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We know there's going to be a lot of protocols targeting their launches for April, for April and the 20th, and of course May. So there's going to be a lot of activity in crypto as well. So it's going to be a fun time in crypto, man. Everyone's here early. Once again, Pulsechain, are you accumulating? Seems like a pretty good time to do that. Well, you've still got a chance. So there we go. All right, we've got Ethereum up at the moment. Ethereum is looking not too bad. We're had a high of 3,369, a low of 3,202 today. We're at the top of that range at the moment. We are just below the 50 moving average, though. So a little bit, quite a bit weaker in that regards to the 50-day. On Bitcoin, we're above it. And, of course, here on Ethereum, we're just below it at the moment, trying to get back to it as we speak. And of course, that's sitting at $3,338 for the 50 EMA, just below that at the moment, a little bit there. So we'll see how we go. But in any case, it's Ethereum's going to benefit from the Bitcoin halving, and of course, then we've got the Ethereum ETFs on the 23rd of May. Now that is only a 25% chance of success. So unlike 90% we have for Bitcoin ETFs, only about 25% for the Ethereum ETFs. Obviously, the SEC playing games with that, and currently that's 49 days away. So we'll see how we go, see if there's any information that will come after the Bitcoin halving that may bolster that percentage chance of victory there. And, of course, then potentially interest rate pivots, as we saw earlier with Jerome Powell. They're looking like they're going to do it this year. Maybe we might get 3 interest rate pivots if we're lucky. And, of course, maybe hopefully that starts in either June or July. And, of course, 11th of June is the meeting for that first potentiality there, sitting at about, I think, what did we say the other day, 60%? Yeah. and I think July's sitting at 70% chance of that. So there we go on those probabilities. Let's move on though and get into the chat and see who's here before we get on to the Pulsechain update for today. And of course, Pulsechain, are you accumulating? Opportunities abound. They continue to abound. But how long? When will that disappear? And then people will go, oh my gosh, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Had 6 months to do it and I never did. That's kind of going to be the old narrative later on. All right, let's see here. We got Sandy Beach. No, we have. We've got some Crypto Dan in the house. Hey, Crypto Dan, good to see you. We got Wookiees eating candy and chocolate. Sandy Beach had a head massage today. I should sleep well tonight, indeed. It was for hair growth. Are you kidding me? With your lock of hair, do you really need that? I'm not sure about that, but I'm sure it was enjoyable. We got a PTGC for the win. Altcoins up to the right. Yeah. So what we obviously expected Bitcoin to go, Ethereum to go, out the top cats there for altcoins. Obviously, meme coins, AI coins, things like that, doing particularly well. Some utility coins, DeFi, top DeFi. And, of course, then move into the mid-caps, kind of the normal phasing of bull markets. What else we got? Wookie says Wookie gets a head massage every day, and it's what differently put Wookie to sleep, says Wookie immediately. How about that? Seems to be the thing at the moment, head massages. What is with that? Blaster X Treasury is bullish. Oh, we're getting all the Blaster X people in the house today. I hope you guys are doing well up there. Brian's in the house as well. What's up, folks? Good to see Brian, our community leader, absolutely crushing it. Big shout out to the Hex family as well from Passive Income. Sandy says, yes, my hair has been shedding due to all my surgeries. Oh, okay, that explains something there. We'll wish you the best with that, Sandy Beach. Sandy Beach has the most beautiful lock of hair. And is that the way to say it? I don't know. But there we go. All right, let's get back into a Pulsechain. Are you accumulating? Let's have a look at the results for day 327. Can you believe it? 327 as we're marching along towards the first full year of Pulsechain. Can you believe it? It's just it's mind-blowing. Day 327. Now, don't forget, we were the first YouTuber influencers to be covering the live stream. Now, there was one or two just after us, but we were the ones that covered the launch straight away on the first day when Pulsechain launched. I kind of like that. It's kind of a cool thing to have in history. And I think we were followed pretty quickly. Was it by RH Max, I think, and some of the others? But we happened to be first up with the coverage, which I thought was pretty cool. We're at Pulsechain at the moment, quadruple 0993. That is up 2.5%, and we're just 1% below the mean sacrifice price at the moment. Pulsex at the moment, quadruple 0394, up 3.74%. 74%. So nice little bit of green candles here today. And we're still about 60% below the mean sacrifice of Pulsex. So still massive upside for Pulsex, even though that $15 million buy we had a few weeks ago did take us back to the mean sacrifice price. That's probably a signal for the future of where we're going. So a lot of upside there in Pulsex. And we are expecting potentially, once less than 40 days away, maybe 37 days or so, we may get that first emission cut in the Pulsex inflation that we're expecting. So that's going to be pretty interesting and bullish for, Pulsex and incentive. In the meantime, though, we've got the incentive token, I should say, not the Pulsex. And in the meantime, we've got 782.1 billion of Pulsex has been bought up and burned. We're now at 3.84% is gone forever. So that's going really nice, folks. That's up 0.02% there, I think. That is 3.84% of all public supply is gone. And of course, this doesn't include Power City Earn Protocol, which has also taken off a similar, or actually a slightly higher amount off the market there. So pretty cool. Incentive token is $5.01. The ratio is at 50,429, up 5.46%. So that's taking back the lead, folks. It's incentive tokens taking back the lead. Pulsex kind of had it last week. And so incentive token back on the move there. Could have a nice little bullish move ahead. We got the total supply is the scarcest, 28,141,000. So potentially huge upside there, especially if we get that emission cut that we're expecting, maybe in a month and a half. So there we go. That's looking pretty good there on incentive tokens. Hex at the moment, 1.01 cents, up 2.29%. EHEX at 0.2 of a penny. And the combined price of EHEX and PX at 1.2 cents. I know that when Hex goes, it's going to go. Some people obviously supercharged certificate of deposit. Other people talking at the ultimate meme coin. Whatever you want to look at it, Hex keeps marching along. and we're looking forward to where it will go in the future. So that's day 327. Let's have a quick look at the charts. Obviously, a lot of these Pulsechain are you accumulating. You can pick up all these pretty nice values at good prices. Going to be pretty happy about that. This is the total chart here for Pulsechain with Pulse, the main coin of the chain. And you can see us here just below, just a very fraction below the mean sacrifice price at 0001. So there we are, quadruple 49932. And of course, looking pretty good. Now, what are some signs here that we may be bottling out? Well, obviously, we've got the RSI here is down pretty low. So we're down at 35 on RSI, pretty key indicator here on the daily. The other thing is that we have managed to, stay around this pre-SEC price fall. And of course, the mean sacrifice price is a nice, strong, sort of support line here. And we have had 3 days in this range. We did hit that day on the day pretty much where I said it would go. And we got the quadruple 08966, which was my quadruple 9000 mark. And we have been staying around that the last couple of days with the RSI on the oversold period. So far, 3 days of support there, not too bad. And I believe if you added Bollinger Bands in it, we are not right in the bottom of the Bollinger Band, but we're staying, pretty much above it. So that's probably good too. We've still got the negative EMA cross on this, but hey, look, that could turn around the next couple of days. So I think we've got quite a good stability here at the moment on Pulsechain. So I'm happy with what I'm seeing here. A good place to accumulate, of course. Let's jump over to Pulsex. Similar story here with Pulsex, you can see. Similar story. Everything's pretty similar as to Pulsechain. And of course, we've got more work to do, though, to get back to the mean sacrifice price. A lot of upside potential. And of course, that's all the way up here. And you could see this is where we had that $15 million of buying. And of course, we did touch it and then got sold back down. So a lot of resistance there in the market here as well. And that's kind of where we are. So let's move on. Incentive token. This is the talk of the town. Potentially some really good upside here. Let's look at the ratio to Pulse, kind of the key metric there. And we got resistance at 61,000. If we break that, we can go to 71,000. It's kind of the natural path. And at the moment, we're at 50,404. So we have stabilized in the zone above, let's say, what do we got there? Above 47,000. So looking pretty good here as well. So I really like the incentive token. It's going to get more bullish, I think, that narrative as we move towards the end of the year. So keep a lookout for incentive token from that point of view. Now, Hex, P-Hex here at the moment. Let's zoom in on all this on the daily. I was supposed to do the weekly for the Pulsechain, by the way, but I forgot to do it. But I think that's the weekly's looking pretty good too on Pulsechain. So for good support there, where the price is. At the moment, we've got P-Hex at 1 cent. You can see we're still down in the bottom of the range here for the old P-Hex. We have been up, several times up to 2 cents. And a couple of times we've been up to 2.5 cents here. We've got more work to do, right? More work to do. And I guess we've been up as high as 3 cents if you take the beginning and now. So definitely got a lot of work to do here to get through the 2 cent and 2.5 and 3 cent ranges. But definitely on the RSI, we're getting into the oversold territory. Not fully oversold, but we've bounced off this sort of range quite a few times, you can see here. So I'd feel pretty confident that there's a pretty good range to pick up Pulsechain. And P-Hex, and you can see we did do that bounce back the other day just as I called it. So that's pretty good. So everything's going pretty well here and a good zone to accumulate. Look at that zone. Nice zone to accumulate there. Now, if you're going to argue we're going to go down to 7/10 of a penny again, I don't think so. I think we're looking pretty strong here. Could we get a little bit of weakness in intraday? Yeah, sure. And that's why I say it's a good range to possibly get into P-Hex there. Now EHEX there, it obviously has been sliding down as well, 0.2 of a penny. The RSI obviously very oversold on the RSI below 30, and so I think this is obviously a nice little accumulation zone as well. Obviously P-Hex over EHEX, right? P-Hex is the magic carpet ride, so just remember that. But if you want to speculate on EHEX, definitely it looks like it's consolidated the last 4 days. Let's flick it over to the ratio. Have we got the ratio on here? No, we haven't got the ratio on here, so we'll just leave that. Got the wrong chart up, but let's have a look at the combined price, EHEX and P-Hex. This is on the daily, and you can see once again we have tried to get past 3 cents 3 times. One would argue, plus a few little minor ones there. 3 times they would try to get past it, have not done it yet. We're right at the bottom of the range, so a good place to accumulate. That's where we are. Pulsechain are accumulating. Well, there's a pretty good obvious place. We're in this bottom range. That's accumulation range, obviously. And we have these breakouts all the time. Once we go over 3 cents, it's gone. It's gone. Pulse Hex is on, and you can cry about not picking it up during all this time. Once again, not financial advice, do your own due diligence, all that good stuff. That's pretty much it there. Let's go to the other metrics on Pulsechain. Beats there, 300,000 beats, so about 50% above the usual one we have. We've got 1 cent for PulseX transfer, 600th of a penny for Pulsecoin transfer, 2/10 of a penny for a PRC20 transfer, 2,638 times cheaper than Ethereum, 24 grays on Ethereum, so not too bad there. But 1 cent to do a swap is much better than paying up to $28 for a swap. And I think we can all agree that when Ethereum really does get into that full bull market mode where it breaks its down, it's all-time high at $4,900. Maybe it goes 2-3x that up to 15K, maybe even beyond that up to 25K, definitely in that range. Then you can imagine the prices on Ethereum. We already see that the Deacon upgrade on the second layer protocols like Arbitrum and Optimism has already been taken advantage of by the market, and the cost price for those have gone up with the blob storage there. So the markets there's pretty bad players out there that take the opportunities. But anyway, that is where we are there on the gas prices. So Pulsechain looking really good. Validators at the moment is 49,314. Sort of just humming around there, isn't it? The validators in that zone. 1.58 trillion is locked off the market, and of course that doesn't include liquid loans. Let's go to the health measure, which is the bridge. We're sitting $125 million on the bridge at the moment. Obviously, that also takes into account EHEX, which obviously is down at 2/10 of a penny, so that drags the numbers down, skews it down. Anyway, we've got DAI there sitting at 40.2 million at the moment. We've got the USDC 22.4 and USD Tether $15.8 million. ETH at 29.5 million, wrap Bitcoin at 2.2 million, and of course we've got our very own native coins, CST at 4 million, USDL at 16.8 million, and PXDC at 8.3 million. So they're looking pretty good. In fact, let's add those up. We know that Coast, by the way, is going to be relaunching very soon, stronger than ever. Apparently up to about 10 different financial agencies rather than one supporting the protocol. So I think that's pretty exciting to see that. So we wish them the best in their relaunch. It's fantastic for Pulsechain as their only direct on-ramp. So pretty cool. Let's take 4 million. We're going to add in USDL at 16.8. And then we're going to add in PXDC at, let's say, 8.3. We'll just round it down there. That's $29.1 million in native stable coins on Pulsechain. Very cool to see that. All right. That would make it just underneath the ETH value there, at the moment. All right, let's go to final measure. Look at lock coins. 2.5 trillion pulses locked off the market, mostly through validators and liquid loans. And of course, we've also got 787 billion PulseX locked away in Power City, in addition to the buy and burn, which is looking so good at 3.84% at the moment. So that's looking really good. All right, that is the day done for day 327. We're going to be starting day 328, of course. So that's pretty much it. Let's go have a look at some of the markets and have a look at everything else before we get into it. Pulsechain, a good accumulation zone at the moment. A big thank you from Sandy. You're most welcome. Passive says tokens are green again now. Yeah. Make a tokens green again. Yeah, that's the way we go. Pumpkin Owl in the house there. Hoot, hoot. Good to see you, Pumpkin Owl. Welcome to the chat. Crypto Dan, is EX completely dead? Well, apparently not. It's at 2/10 of a penny. It does have a lot of influence support, and it also has second layer protocols like Maximus and Hedron and Cosa. And of course, we can't wait for 2.0. And of course, we've also got staking pools over there too. We've got Party Pool, and we've got the Magic Carp Ride's going to have the Stakehouse coming up. So no, EX is not dead. Now, there's also going to be some drops to EX as well, right? So there's going to be X Hex on X1 chain. So people are going to get that. The other one, of course, is that I just saw yesterday, another little team is going to be dropping a token to liquid EX holders. So no, I think there's lots of things happening over there. Crypto Dan as well, of course, as Hedron and everything else. So yeah, that's a lot of cool stuff happening there. Yeah, Stakeout's coming. That's right. So yeah, to get excited. It's still ticking away there. It's immutable code. It's got huge community. That's just going to tick away there as well. But let's not pretend that PHEX is where the Magic Carp Ride is going to be happening. I think Richard Hart's pretty much signaled that the Pulsechain assets are the ones that he is supporting at least. So there we go. but the market has got plenty of big influencers out there now that support those, and builders that support EHEX. And I think, Robbie Davidson said the best. I've got T-shares on both chains, and he's pretty happy with that, and so am I. And I'm sure all the rest of the T-share holders, 9.3 million T-share holders on EX, are pretty happy with that too. All right, and we also saw BankX, of course, move its most of its wall between 1.2 cents and above, 700 million coins over to Pulsechain, and provide liquidity in 9M. Was it 9M? Yeah, I think it was 9MM, the V3 pool. That's right. And they're offering that in between 0.007 cents and 0.014 cents. So that's sitting over there now. So things changed a lot in crypto, man. Things change a lot in crypto. All right, let's move on. Let's get into check out some of the riskier stuff on Pulsechain. And of course, here we are with the all tokens. So what have we got here? We've got some really risky stuff. We're going to talk about that. Nothing is financial advice here. I'm just commenting on what's moving. Some of it is very risky. You don't know. You have to check if the contract's safe and all that sort of stuff. Who's pumping it and all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of pump and dumper coins. And this is not just on Pulsechain, but on multiple chains. You guys know how it works. Pulse Street's at the moment up 9,100% there. Obviously, there was very small liquidity, 9,700. That's just come out of the blue there. So that's probably just a new one. Every day we're getting new coins launched. We got Big Mike there up 314%. This is on 9-inch exchange. We've got Fugazi there up 72%. Big bonus coin up 53% there. SolidX that some people in the chat were talking about. Obviously, this is supported by Randy Alaski and a few others. This is up 52%. So we have a quick little zoom on this one. And see, this has been operating, 2 days? This starting its third day. Has had a mega pumps here. Got pushed all the way up to $21. Now, as I understand it, SolidX was made to replace Somi, Soy Somi, was it? Yeah. Because Somi, I don't think was too happy about it or something. I haven't watched the video or anything. You can check out Somi's channel for that. He's done a response about that. I think he got given a ton of tokens, was going to put a sell wall on it or something like that. So everyone's moved up, made a new coin called Somi, SolidX, moved away from Soy Somi, and the SolidX has been bumped. So there we go. It got all the way up to $21.15. $21.15. Now, if you'd been in our Discord hanging out with us, you would have seen this token. And you would have seen this flash crash that we saw way back here. See this one back here? Flash crash back here to $1.93. We were there at the time, and people had the opportunity in Discord to pick that up. And of course, off it's gone to the races. So you'd have made mad gains on that. In fact, how high would it have been? Pretty big. I don't know if this measures properly, but yeah, 9x. You would have made a 9x on that if you'd been in our Discord chatting with us, all the cool kids in the Discord. So if you haven't joined, the link's in the video description. We've been seeing virtually all the things happening on Pulsechain. We end up seeing on our Discord. It is crazy. So it's a good place to be if you want that to be early and get involved. What else we got there? A Troper up 44%. USDC coins. So we've still got these Pulsechain copies of stable coins still pricing up. This narrative continues on. So we've got Troper USDC. Pricing up there. Look at that, up 38% on a USDC. This is the PUSDC copy. It is up, and of course, look at this stuff. It's going almost 4/10 of a penny. Man, oh man, these things are heading towards 1 cent. I know there's critics out there that just don't see it happening, but hey, look, the chart is telling us that the market's moving it up. And that should be pricing in information, right? So people believe or not. So there we go. Some pretty big movers there as well. Atropine there is up 31%. A reptilian currency, which is like PDGC copy, that is doing pretty well too, up 32%. So that's not too bad. Also, let's have a quick look at that one. I do like the artwork, really. I don't know why, but I do. And that is doing pretty well there. Look at that. It's heading up. Is it going to break this all-time high to 2,000 with 5 zeros in front of it? It's currently 1849 with 5 zeros. That's doing too bad. That's like a PDGC. Now, what else is looking pretty good? Crow is up 23%. Function Island Farm is up 23%. I haven't actually checked that one out, but that is up 23% there. We've got the old big meme coin that was pumping the other day. This rude one here called Dick. Was it Dick with Butt? That one there. Hashtag family channel. But that one is up 23% as well. How is that doing actually? Let's have a quick look to see how that is actually doing here on the logs. Let's log this scale. Let's log it. Let's log the scale. All right, let's go. How are we doing there? So that is the one there. Oh yeah, it's off the top. Top was up at 1100 with 4 zeros. Now got 5 zeros, 3,760. So that's kind of where that one is. Loan token, one of the blue chips, is up 22%. So it's always good to have some blue chips in the house. In fact, loan token has been doing pretty well, hasn't it, for the last wee while? Actually, it's off the bottom. Let's put it that way. So it got down to 3,800 now to 5,600 with 5 zeros, and so that is getting up there, but long way to go to get back up there at the moment. Now there's obviously more tokens around as well. Remember, every month there's going to be more tokens every month for up to 2 years. Just remember that with the loan token. Hey, I think we've got some superstar there. We've got Force of One member for 15 months. Hey, huge thank you for that. Let's go. This is Force of One, and of course, Force of One there being a member for 15 months. Definitely one of the longer members. So very, very appreciate support there. Big shout out. All right. Who else has we got here? We've got a couple other comments. That is the link to the Discord if you want to join up. Thanks, Liz, for posting that. Definitely get in and become part of the community. We have an awesome bunch in there. We're watching pretty much everything as it goes live. And yeah, we've seen some incredible things on Pulsechain happen in real time, and you'll be able to benefit if you are quick to the button. Yeah, there's Wookie's Strategy Club link too if you want to join Strategy Club. We have a session this weekend on Strategy Club, so definitely join up for that as well. All right, so that's what else has we got going there. Magic Cup Ride is up to 21%. So we've got a lot of green candles here, a lot of double digits, folks, on Pulsechain. So don't say there's not the opportunity. We're coming off that bottom after that big downtrend. Things are turning around from the looks of it today. Nope token up 16% from Randy Alaski. So not only doing blast X there, but also Nope token looking pretty good. 27.50 with so almost heading up back towards 0.3 of a penny. 9-inch as well up 16%. Up token up 16. So lots of stuff is up today. The Tornado Cash Forks ZKZX is back up almost at 0.9 of a penny, and that is at 4 to 15% there. PGC, which is the other one that looks like that reptilian one we talked about before. This is the original, of course. That is up 14.5%. 4 zeros, 5,500 on the old grays. Let's check that out while we're here. Yeah, way off the highs, but man, looking good in a nice support zone here. This thing has done pretty well, PGC. Looking forward to that going back up, as my guess. So lots of cool stuff happening on the charts here. I'm just running through some of these others. Launch token, which launched the other day with the Launchpad, Pulse Launchpad, up 12%. Not too bad there either. Those are some of the exciting ones there. I was going to look up PDI, but can't see it here on the list. So it's pretty green across the board, as you can see. Not so many reds there. A few reds. TARD is red. I think that was bullish yesterday. The old TARD that came out of nowhere. That has gone red today. Bit of profit taking there. And time dividend there down 4%. Is 90k liquidity, but down 4% there. Mitra down 3.6% as well. So they've got a bit of way to go to move back up. All right, so it looks like the stable coins are on the move on Pulsechain, as well as some of the meme coins. And I think that's kind of a summary of what we're seeing today as the leaders. But some of the utility tokens are starting to rise up as well. Rise up and take opportunities. So Pulsechain are accumulating some mad gains in there for the win. All right, how are we doing for time? 43 minutes, not bad. I think we're going to wrap it up there, about a 45-minute show. That sounds pretty good to me. Pulsechain are accumulating. Get in there, folks. Opportunities abound. And, of course, you can see that the Bitcoin market's looking pretty good. The ETF's looking pretty good. We're going to have, obviously, a supply shock with the Bitcoin halving coming up in 16 days. And, of course, you've got that 1 year to shaking out weekends. That's going to be May, right? It's going to be May. So 1 year to shake out weekends in May. That'll be probably, I don't know, 3 to 4 weeks after the Bitcoin halving. And then maybe it's Magic Cup Ride time as well. Maybe that happens again too. So look forward to that. Crypto Dan's shouting out the old PDI there. Yeah, it's definitely doing some good stuff there. And obviously you can check out the Maker Theory out there. People matching evidence to that. So that's always fun to see. But in any case, the chart is telling all the story. And it seems to be going up and up all the time. Okay, looks like it's gonna hit 1 cent. And it's 1 cent's definitely on the target there. It's got a target on its back, and the old 1 cent for PDI. And of course, USDC and USD Tether, the copy is also following up. They're buying, but they're definitely following up there, trying to make the gains as well. So there's definitely opportunities if you want pick up some of those ones there rather than PDI. They're definitely an opportunity if you like a bit of speculation. That's on the old, hit the 1 cent. Gets to 1 cent, right? Then I guess the next narrative is 10 cents, right? And then, of course, the next narrative after that is $1. So we'll see what happens there. All right. I think we're going to wrap it up. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Catch you guys again tomorrow. Don't forget to get into our Discord. The links are in the video description. Join up today. $5 for the general membership. And, of course, you want to get that extra multi-chain project analysis, then get into the strategy club, $30 a month for that. So other than that, you can join to subscribe for free on either channels, Pulsechain X, Superman Crypto, or Hex Token. Get in there, folks, and don't forget to check out Sandy Beach's latest video for the AB challenge. So definitely check that out on Sandy Beach's X platform. All right, we're going to leave it out. Let's play the Magic Carpet Ride video. We always like to leave inspired when we finish up this show. So let's do that. Magic Carpet Ride, let us go. Oh, where is it? Come on, we got to find it. Where's the Magic Carpet Ride? It's not in that folder, that's for sure. This one here. All right, peace out, everybody. Take care. All the best. Enjoy your day, and I'll catch you again tomorrow.
In theory, if someone were a billionaire and they had like all this money, why wouldn't they just buy more of the thing they liked instead of dumping the thing they liked? Like if Bezos bought shares in Amazon, would you be pissed off? If Apple does a stock buyback and they buy more of their own shares in their company back from the public, which is a way to turn earnings into yield for the shareholders, do you get mad and yell at Apple? And so we had to come up with a word for this fan fiction fantasy, which is the opposite of a rug pull, called a magic carpet ride. And so if you're worried about risk of a rug pull, what weighted value have you given the risk of a magic carpet ride? And it's just hilarious to me.